Hey there everyone, how's it going? Thank you very much to the very lovely Ferret for the handover there from Interference and Chill. If you've just come over from there, Ferret and I, we're part of the same team. We make games like Interference, and we also make rogue drones, which is a new thing that we've been working on recently that we're going to be showing off at EGX Rezzed next month in like 3 weeks, which is a little bit scary. But we've got into the habit of showing off what we've been working on this week after Interference and Chill every week. So I've got another updated version of the game here for you with more of Bob Duck and Weave's very cool UI in there. It's looking pretty smart now. Way better than when we just had my programmer art. Basically what we do is each week just show off what updates we've had. I'm really organised this time. I even have a list because sometimes I start doing this and then forget what on earth I've actually done. But, you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, let me just press the play button here. Oh, in fact, before we get into that, I should say, well, first I should probably make this a little bit larger so you can see what's happening here. We've got a slightly updated title screen now. Bob suggested moving a few things around. A lot of the stuff that we've done is kind of close to how I had things done originally, but getting a designer's eye on it, it's interesting because, you know, Bob says things like, yeah, those buttons, don't have them straight, just rotate them a little, looks loads better. You know, your controls, don't just have them as a bit of text, get them on a bit of the tape. We're all about the tape in this game. You know, everything's looking, it just looks a bit nicer, you know, it pops more, to use the ironic term that people tend to use. Okay, so let's have a look at what's been happening here then. So if you've not seen this before, basically Rogue Drones is something that we thought up at Christmas, really. We were having our Christmas party, we'd had a few drinks, and on the TV all the time there was all this stuff about Gatwick Airport and Heathrow Airport in the UK being shut down because of people flying drones around. And someone said, oh, you should make a game about drones shutting down airports. So we did, because, you know, that's what we do. And this kind of happened. So the idea is you work in security at the airport, and suddenly all of these weird drones have turned up and they've shut down the airport. But, you know, you've decided, actually, we don't want to ruin everyone's holiday. We want to get things going again. But your boss won't pay for any anti-drone tech. No worries, you think. I'll just get a stun gun, duct tape it onto the top of a drone, then just fly that around and shoot the drones down. It'll be fine. So yeah, we came up with this idea where basically you pilot the drone around. So I'm just controlling this with a standard Xbox controller, so I can tilt the drone and then thrust. So, you know, if I want to go forward, I tilt forward and then run my engines. I've got this this stun gun attached to the top of it as well. So basically I have to go and find these guys and then zap them as I go past. Let's get this green one here as well. Ooh, missed. I meant to do that. That was just a demo. There you go. And yeah, that's about it. So we're going to have a few different modes in here. This is sort of our airspace defense mode, where you have a certain number of drones to chase down. 10 we're just doing at the moment, and there's a timer and you're trying to see how fast you can do it. But we're also looking at things like you're the invading drone, maybe maybe like a race mode as well, a few different things. We've had a few suggestions on streams before as well. If anyone does have any suggestions for cool things you think we should do, feel free to drop them in the chat, because we love hearing your ideas. Talking about things that have been added in, we've just done sort of a bit more of the Blood Moon. Yeah, we should have a Blood Moon. I like it. Nice. I will write that on my list. Blood Moon. I think that would be a nice little interference tribute. So yeah, we've kind of done a bit more tidying up here. So we've got things like, well, you can't see it at the moment, but we've got the split flap timer, because I found out what they were called. I like the phrase, like the split flap timer up at the top. The best time when you actually complete one of these. In fact, I've got something to show off at the end of the level as well, so I should probably make an effort to shoot down some of these. You can see me look like I know what I'm doing. Maybe there's a mixed play button, everything goes red and hazy. Oh, that could work, yeah. Ah, Ferret switched account now, that was confusing. Ooh, yeah, I've totally lost my thread there. I've got to shoot these down because I have some more UI to show you for the end of the level. Yeah, the split flap timer, the best time, because we track what your best time for the day is, and then try and encourage you to beat it when you play again. So that actually appears as a matching split flap now. I've actually built it into like a little component so I can write text in it as well, which is quite cool. Because at some point we're hoping to do multiplayer with this, so I just can't get this guy. Ah, too far away. Maybe I should I'm just going to bash into it. No, I'm not. No, it knew. It knew. Oh. I make this game. I spend all day doing this, and suddenly, now I'm on camera. I just suck. What's that about? So yeah, I've kind of built the split flap thing out into a little component, so I can just sort of stick text in it, which is pretty cool. So we've only just using it for a little minor test at the moment. Ooh, almost shouldn't have tilted down there. Come on, here we go. There we go. Two more over here. So yeah, I can basically inject bits of text into it easily now. Oh, one of them's got stuck in one of these buildings. Still need to sort that out sometime. It's going to be trapped in here somewhere. I won't be able to see it, so I'll just have to... Ooh, easy, went past me. Just have to try and shoot down blind. There we go. So, new UI, hopefully. Bob updated our newspaper a bit. It looks a little bit... blocky here because of a change in the way Unity does UI in the latest version, because I've kind of stepped up quite a few versions of Unity whilst we've been doing this, and it's to do with anti-aliasing not happening on UI elements by default, so I just need to sort that out, but this is still not done at the moment. So I'd previously made a newspaper, and then Bob kind of gave some suggestions as to how we could update that. So this is a work in progress on that. As I say, we'll get the smoothing done and that properly on here. So we've it's called the Daily Fail at the moment. Just saying. Got a little, Latin motto on there as well. I thought might be quite nice. And so the idea is, because of how the news was over Christmas. Okay. Ferret's just left the co-stream that I'm in. For some reason, my channel was stuck on a co-stream from Tuesday when I co-streamed with Ferret. I don't really know what was happening there, but hopefully everything's gone back to normal now. Yes, thanks for that. Yeah. No, I don't know what that was about. I'll tell the cats about it sometime if it happens again. So yeah, our end of level kind of mission report is in the form of a newspaper, because the newspapers were just basically going on about it constantly. And we're kind of going a bit tongue-in-cheek with this. The messages that you see from your boss when he's shooting down the drones, he's all like, come on, get a move on, I'm meant to be playing golf now. And this is all, regardless of how well you do, it's always, airport security takes 4 minutes 55 to disable rogue drones. Oh, what do we pay them for? Why do they take so long? They should just get on with it, random passerby. So we've also shuffled some other stuff around here. I've lost the big clickbait headline at the top, and we've got those appearing at the bottom now, but we've got two on there, just placeholder, just using the same picture as the main paper. So we got how to train your cat to win the lottery, and this household item will make your dog turn bold and take up golf. So they're picked at random from a list that we have. I know some of the guys who are in chat actually are suggesting many clickbait headlines in our Rogue Drones chat on Discord, which you can find at roguedronesgame.com/Discord. Yeah, we're going to get all of those in so that yeah, people can won't see the same headline twice because there's a lot. Um, yeah, I think was it last week or the week before? Wraith Leader and Hey Anthony were coming up with them in the chat, and I said, "Oh yeah, we'll do a channel. You can put them in there," thinking they were going to do 5 or 10, but I don't know. There's probably 100 in there now or something. I'm very impressed. Okay, so crowdsourcing headlines not a good idea. Developers find out. Well, it's not that it's not a good idea. It's just I'm really impressed at how many you did. And are doing, because they keep turning up every few days. It's very impressive. So yeah, we've got this new UI update for the newspaper bit. So that's looking quite nice. I like the Les Cat one. Oh, okay, yes, the one that referenced the quiz stuff. Yes. There are some very good ones in there. In fact, I'm just thinking, I wonder if I can just grab Discord and just read a couple out because they are quite cool. So if any of you have been around for our interactive quiz that we run on Sunday nights, then there was a question about Les Paul guitars and what they were named after. And one of the options was the company Cat, and we all thought it was the Cat, but it wasn't. It was like a musician or something crazy. But yeah, Hey Anthony posted in Discord as a sample headline: "Cat named Paul recently recognised as original creator of Gibson Les Paul guitars." Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff like that. Just scrolling back up through a few of them. Just seeing one of the comments saying, "I feel like we've generated far too many." Tub of soft cheese declared winner in cross-country marathon. Airlines rename economy class. Look forward to new classes first and low. Milk actually just glue mixed with water. Yeah, there were a lot about bears. I forget how the bear thing started. Yeah, Hey Anthony at one point says, "I never realised the true joy of bear-themed dystopian headlines until today." It was, yeah, it just goes on. I can't even find the start of the bears. They just keep going. What is a bear? Is there one living in your neighbourhood? Turn to page 2 for more. Popular voice actor Matthew Mercer mistaken for a bear during weekly game of D&D. Bear noises now an official course available at leading international universities. I mean, I don't even know where all that came from. Yeah, bears are slow. They're taking over the world. They're just sort of plotting it, and we just don't realise. Yeah, that's it. Bear Illuminati, maybe. So yeah, we'll get some bear headlines in there because why not? Yeah, sounds fun, sounds crazy, works for me. So I'll start putting some of those in actually, I think, and we'll start to see them there. So yeah, I should just check that some of this mix play works. One of the images of that guy should be a bear dressed as a passenger worker. Yeah. We've got some assets with someone in like high vis. We should get like a bear in high vis. I feel like at some point I need to maybe actually get into modelling in terms of Blender and stuff like that. So we don't need to buy in all of our 3D assets. If I can get to the point where I can maybe make a sort of voxel style, like all of this stuff, a voxel style bear that we can put a high vis jacket on, that could be pretty cool. I mean, it's the 13th. This has got to be ready for like the 3rd, so that I've got maybe a little bit of panic time for bug fixing. That sounds plausible. I mean, Ferret, if you've ever wanted to get into 3D modelling, just saying, it's all good. Now's the time. Okay, so let's just have another run of this, and I will press that, and hopefully that should connect up our Mixplay buttons. So we've got some more UI updates on here as well, and I think I fixed a few bugs with this. So last week we had a bug fix for... Oh, in fact, you can see my best time there appearing now in that split flap clock style, which yeah, I'm quite pleased with. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying, getting sidetracked. We want to do multiplayer at some point, and I'd like the scoreboard to be like a giant split flap board that kind of flicks through everyone's names, just because I think that would be cool. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, look at that. We've got animation on the UI, yeah? Ooh, yeah. That's like the most un-me thing ever. I'm all about like, okay, we'll just like put a bit of text on here and it'll appear and then it will disappear. It almost sort of tears off as well. I haven't quite got the tear tape finish, kind of effect finished, but when they disappear, it should be, they should kind of fold over on themselves, so like as if someone's peeling off the tape. Bit difficult to sort of, where's one of my bits of paper I was playing with to try and figure this out? As in like they'll kind of sort of go kind of up, like, you know, that kind of maneuver. So yeah, but the appear animation is a bit more exciting. So something comes up in your vision, like the symbol comes up, so you can kind of see easily what's. Oh, I always forget that's about to run out, even though there's a timer there. So yeah, the symbol flashes up in your vision. You get like the participant shout out at the bottom as well, because you know we're all about mixed play, and we know that people love to see their name in the game. So we make sure that whenever someone presses a mixed play button, we give them a shout out down there. But yes, we got this little animation on, and Bob's done us new icons for the like the warning symbols. So we've got a new like wind, radio interference, radar interference. What else we got? Slow recharge and battery. I quite like the slow recharge. See, confusingly, every time someone presses radio interference, which flips my controls here, I always think it's Ferret doing it, because we adjusted the ID badge picture to look like her. I've nearly trashed my drone here. In fact, I should maybe try and park up a bit. Oh no, maybe that was too much. Yeah, I broke it. Never mind. I might just need to toggle my mix play on and off. There we go. So yeah, we because of interference and chill, where everybody uses mix play to mess with Ferret, I thought it was appropriate that we maybe made the ID badge look a bit like her in this. So anytime it comes up, I think it's her. Harsh. What was I saying? So yeah, the icons have been updated a little. Like the slow recharge is quite nice. Someone said it was a bit like a. Now, was it Pixar or was it DreamWorks? I forget who did which films. But it's almost like a. Was it Turbo? The one with the snail. If someone presses slow recharge, assuming that I have fixed this problem with the buttons not always firing. It's a really obvious mistake in the code where basically a button was disabled and I just didn't notice. Yeah, we've got like a little electric snail icon for that. Yeah, like the stun gun malfunction one basically shows like a broken battery. Although I'm not entirely sure if it's clear enough what it's meant to be when it comes up. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see what people think of that if that one flashes up at some point. In fact, I can probably just fire that one here quickly. Oh, there we go. So it looks all right. Oh yeah, okay. I swapped it out. We had two actually. I swapped it out for the other one, and I feel like that. Wasn't quite ready for that. I feel like that battery does actually look like a battery. There was one with more of a lightning bolt, sort of fatter at one end, thinner at the other end, and it was a bit harder to kind of see what it was meant to be. But yeah, so hey Anthony saying strong crosswind. Ooh, crashed into the floor. Yeah, one of the things I keep thinking is I'm wondering if we need to adjust the scale of this. Because, to be honest, I don't really know why the drone is this size. It just kind of happened. But, you know, if I go up to this thing, I mean, it's actually kind of quite a large drone. Maybe I can... Oh, okay, I haven't put a collider on that. Okay, nobody saw that. It was fine. It was fine. But, you know, it's almost the width of this. Well, half the width of this, maybe. Which feels like it might be a little bit big. Because if you ever look at the speed readout, which... I mean, the numbers are there just to give a bit of flavour, really. Yeah, drones can be big. And this is the thing. I mean, I think about our drone we've got here, which I don't think I can reach because I've left it over the other side of the room. But our drone is pretty small. You know, it's only a bit bigger than like a controller, really. But yeah, obviously you get ones that are like a metre across, and that seemed like a sensible size at the minute. But I was thinking maybe we should sort of scale this down a bit, because these numbers for, say, speed, they're actually accurate in terms of in-game units. So we are actually travelling at 70 metres. Ooh, bash. Yeah. Yeah. Flipped controls. Yeah, so, you know, if I sort of back up a bit here and then try and get a bit of acceleration on. So, in terms of in-game speed, you know, we are actually hitting like 100 metres a second, which seems really fast. So I'm wondering if what we could do... easy. What we could do is scale the drone down a bit. And that also has the advantage of making the level effectively bigger. Because, I mean, again, I'm trying not to get too carried away with things that should come after the show. Because, as I say, we're ooh, easy. Almost didn't notice that ran out. We're trying to not get too carried away with things that should be done after the show. Getting a nice working build that feels good and is fun to play for the show is the main priority. But, you know, I'd really like to do multiplayer. But the thing is, I worry that maybe the... did it again. I worry that maybe this kind of level isn't quite big enough for that. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe we need to build this out. Maybe we need more buildings, more runways, more planes and things. And then I thought, well, I mean, maybe actually it's just that the drone is a bit big. Maybe if we scaled the drone down, kind of half the size of it, effectively the level gets twice as big. Well, 4 times as big, I suppose, because you're scaling it up both ways. So, you know, I'm kind of not sure whether to go for that. I don't know. And then, you know, that would sort of adjust the speed down. It might feel a bit more sensible then. I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult. Just as a little aside, in fact, maybe if I move... what's going on? To crosswind. A bit harder to go this way. Maybe if I come over something a little bit darker, if I get a bit lower here. The little sort of gauge things we have actually fill in now depending on how high you are. So say the left hand one, if you there you go, stun gun disabled. If you look at the I'm trying to think what the word is, like reticule almost. The left hand one, as I'm going up and down, you can see that filling in slightly. We've got them semi-transparent just so that they don't kind of like really block your view of anything. But you can still kind of see the effect. So we've got speed on the right and altitude on the left. The only thing is, with there being this gap in the middle, we're treating it as the bottom is 0 and the top is, you know, 100, whatever the maximum amount is. Maybe I set 100 for speed. But the problem is, with there being a gap in the middle, there's this bit where you don't see any changes on it. So I'm wondering if we need to kind of massage the way those numbers work so that as you if I do height, actually that's going to be easier, as you sort of go up and like there, I've filled in the bottom part, maybe it should now start filling in the top part immediately rather than there being this gap about there where when I move you can't see because it's actually in the missing part of the reticule. I don't know, it's kind of design decisions really. So yeah, you know, that's you know, I think that's making it look quite nice as well. We got this got more UI updates and things. One thing you might have noticed as well is I've temporarily turned off the bits of debug information that were shown above the other drones. They were showing their name and their health. In fact, if I switch to my multiple shot mode here. If you were here last week, you might have seen that I tried out a different way of working the stun gun. So rather than just doing one big shot, you can do smaller shots, but then you have to wait for them to recharge. So these actually only do 50 damage. A drone has 100 health by default. So these only do 50 damage, so I don't even know if I got him is the problem now. Yeah, you see, this is the difficulty. What I should do is make it so these start emitting smoke when they've taken some damage. That would probably be a better idea. Or like maybe white smoke if when they get to half health, and black smoke when they get to well, when they're destroyed. Because yeah, I was wondering what it would look like in game if you didn't have the names, or the health rather. Maybe fire. Yeah, fire could be good. Note to self: figure out how to make fire. It's not like we're just winging this entire thing and making it up as we go along, but we are. So yeah, fire. We could do fire. Yeah, there you go. I'm pretty sure I got a good hit on him, but I've got no sort of visual indication that happened. But I reckon if I get another hit, he's going to go down. Yeah. But yeah, fire, that could work. Different kinds of smoke, fire, maybe just kind of sparks, or maybe sparks are for when it's completely broken. I don't know. Choices. So yeah, I feel like removing the names and the health makes it look a bit better. It makes it a little bit more challenging as well, trying to look for them from a distance. You can still see the trails that they leave, but you don't sort of see as quite a bigger blob in the distance, like that one over by that plane there. So I'm wondering if maybe when you get a bit closer, you should see a little health bar above it, but it only appears, I don't know, if you're within 10 meters or something in game. That is obviously, so you know, about here. Well, about here maybe that would actually appear. So you know, that could work, I think. Sparks might be more appropriate. Yeah, I think because it is electrical. We're zapping them. You know, does it make sense for there to be smoke? I suppose the sparks could create an electrical fire, melt a bit of the casing or something like that. Also use sparks here. Yeah, good call. I like that. Yeah, Mix is all about sparks, so yeah, we should have sparks. Sparks for sparks. Let me just change this back to single shot. I wasn't sure actually whether this option for like single powerful shot or multiple small shots should be something that the player can toggle on and off. I've been playing a lot of Apex. Well, I say a lot. Weekly, been playing a bit of Apex with Ferret, which is awesome, and some of the guns you get in that have like I'm not an expert on guns, a select fire receiver, I think the term is. I don't know. So you can say single shot or burst or whatever. I'm wondering if we should I should be able to press something on the D-pad here and toggle single shot, multiple shot, or something like that. I mean, or alternatively, one of the things I would really like to do is multiple drones that you can unlock through doing challenges. Perhaps one of them allows you to take multiple shots, or has a more powerful stun gun on it, that kind of thing. But it's all, if you'll pardon the pun, it's all up in the air at the moment. The main thing is just trying to get something ready for the show. In fact, I should probably say here for anyone watching. Is that the right thing? If you're going to Resd in London, then we're going to be showing this off because we're crazy, and why not? It's not that it's not finished; it's that we only started it at the end of January, so that's fun. And we're also going to be giving a talk about interactive streaming because we're all into mix play and we love interactive stuff. That'll be on the Friday of Res at 12 noon. Myself, Bunnery and Ferret will be talking about our different things we do, like our interactive quiz, interference and chill, and this. It should be awesome, so we'd love to see you there. What did Anthony say there? Could you add a Konami code? Yes, I like it. And in fact, we have the right buttons on an Xbox controller. I like this. Easter egg, Easter egg. Shh. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe you could have like an overpowered shot that, I don't know, discharges your gun completely and uses some of your health or something. Or maybe something that your audience could help you unlock. You know, like maybe they have to um, help build up charge for it by pressing the buttons, and then you can maybe trigger that or something. I don't know. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, build up your sparks for it. Literally. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do sometimes wonder if maybe we should do things like enable the player, because I mean, we're thinking about this as like an interactive stream first kind of thing. Well, I mean, we're building the game so anyone can play it, but we're trying to think about fun things for streamers from the start rather than just kind of adding them in as we go along at the end. So as we go along, we're adding some of this stuff in. But yeah, maybe something where you have a slow recharge and you rely on your audience helping you charge by the sparks that they spend on your interactive buttons. Maybe that charges up your stun gun faster or something. That could be pretty fun. Sparks for sparks. I like it. Yeah. That's a good call. We should do that. So yeah, what else have I got to tell you about here? Oh yeah, a little minor thing based on feedback from last week's stream. The cardinal points around the radar, the northeast, south and west, they actually now rotate opposite to the rotation of the radar, as in they always face up. Which seems like an obvious thing. You know, why would they turn around anyway? But because of the way that UI works and things in Unity here, as the letters are attached to the radar, which is why they kind of move at the same rate as it. But when we rotate the radar, it does then make them rotate. You know, so like if you think about it, as I like rotate something, the letters are then rotating with it. What we're having to do is then figure out how much we're rotating and then rotate the letters back to make it look like they're not actually rotating at all. Just one of those interesting things where you think like, oh yeah, I'll just make that not rotate, and you're like, okay, yeah, actually we are making it rotate just the opposite direction, and then no one will notice it. Yeah, it's just interesting the way that things end up working out. So yeah, we've got that as well. Yeah, I sort of tried to adjust the radar a bit. I feel like I've not quite got it the way Bob's done it on his original design. I think he had like some thicker rings and things. His one looked better. But the way that this has worked is he's done the design and then kind of broken it up into little components for me to put into the game, and then I think some of the bits I've put in, I've not actually got the thicknesses right and stuff, so I need to fiddle about with that a bit more. Oh, yeah, okay, wasn't expecting that. Everything had been quiet for a while, and I'd forgotten about the interactions. But yeah, I mean, again, I know I said this last week when we started putting in the Bob stuff, but you know, these kind of things with the like the, I'm calling it a status effect list. They just look a lot better. And the idea of, okay, we'll flash that up and then move it over there. Oh, have I just trashed it? No, yes, no, hang on. Oh, what on earth am I doing here? Okay, that's interesting. I thought I'd fixed that. Because there was a bug where the height indicators for out-of-range enemy drones kept appearing even when you had radar interference on, which reduces the range of your radar. And I was certain I'd fixed that, but obviously I haven't. Let me just put height blobs on here, or blob heights rather. Oh, okay, I crashed while I wasn't looking. Perhaps help. Yeah, no, honestly, this is awesome because it really does help us find things that we wouldn't have thought of otherwise. Oh yeah, one other thing that I have fixed here. See, I made a list. I made a list, and I forgot to mention a lot of these things. Well, actually, no, I have mentioned most of them. One thing that was picked up by the audience on a previous stream, you could still press the mix play buttons after the level had ended, but hopefully that shouldn't work. I mean, I'll just try and do one now as well. Yeah, so once I've crashed or finished the level, you can't keep triggering status effects because it doesn't make sense. So that's worked out okay. Yeah, you can see we've got a sarcastic paper here. Incompetent staff fail to protect airport from rogue drones. I mean, I'm almost tempted to. At the moment, we've got just some lorem ipsum placeholder text in here. It's kind of tempting to actually write a fake article or a series of fake articles that we can kind of swap in and out for this. I like the idea of there just being kind of things where this pops up and you don't really look at it and you're like, hang on, is this different from the last? Does this text keep changing? And then you actually start reading them just to kind of see what random stuff appears in there. I mean, or maybe we could get something going where we have sort of pre-written text that we can then build into articles, kind of procedurally generated news items where the paper's just kind of going off on some crazy rant about whatever. Because that could be quite fun, I think. In fact, here we go. We've got some different headlines here. Damn, nearly finished, but much left to do. That doesn't sound funny, but is actually a headline. Need one of those machine learning story generators. Yeah, like where they do scripts for Star Trek or whatever. Yes, I should write one of those. This is my problem, you see. I find it very difficult to focus on things, and now I'm like, okay, I have to finish making this game before the show, but maybe we could make a neural network that would write the news items for us. That could be good. And I'm going to be thinking about that now for the next few days. Yeah. You see, I'm very lucky because I have Bunnery and Ferret to help me, who are now well trained in just turning around and going, no, focus. You can do that afterwards. The latest thing that Ferret had to talk me down from was, those of you who stream will know, like, you can use OBS or slobs or whatever, and have scene transitions and trigger things to pop up, overlays and all this. And fancy people have Stream Decks, which are like it's almost like a little add-on keyboard thing with buttons on. Basically, you can press them and it triggers things in your streaming stuff. And I was saying, like, well, that's great, but I don't want to take my hands off the controller. So on Tuesday, I went off, during my co-stream with Ferret, I went off on a big thing about, what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a little miniature one of those that I can then tape onto the bottom of the controller, and I can just, like, press a button to trigger things. And she had to talk me down from that, because otherwise, I would have started ordering components for it, because I just can't help myself. Duct tape, yeah. Well, this is it. It's on brand. I was actually thinking about duct tape, and in fact, one of the things, just going off on a tangent about duct tape. In fact, let's go back to the main menu here. Oh, hang on. When I updated this, I have apparently balked the menu button there. Never mind. We're all about duct tape here. This was Bob's idea. This could be sort of like the unifying thing across everything. Anywhere that we need a background for something, like this controls bit down here, we can throw in a bit of duct tape. But yeah, I've just got duct tape on the brain. And one of the things I really wanted to do for the show was get a roll of custom printed tape with the logo on. And then we could just sort of tear off bits and stick it on stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be great. Like, some people give away badges, some people give away stickers. We could just have a roll of tape, and then when people play the game, we can go, ooh, do you want a bit of tape? Tear a bit off with the logo, and then they could stick it on their shirt or whatever. And Sticker Mule does custom printed tape, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to buy some, but it's all water activated, so you have to like sponge it and then stick it onto things. Which has the disadvantage of, well, one, you need to be able to get it wet, and two, you need to be able. I feel like it's the kind of thing that wouldn't be good for on your clothes. So yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I may have ordered stickers though. There might have been an offer on at Sticker Mule, but I haven't told Bunnery yet. I don't know if she's watching. Oh, I should say as well, normally Bunnery pops in whilst I do this stream each week, but unlikely today, unfortunately. She's got a chest infection at the moment, so she's not feeling too good. She is resting in bed at the minute. Yeah, we had to go up to the doctor earlier, and they're giving us some antibiotics for it. So it should be all good in time for the show. But yeah, she's just taking it a bit easy at the moment. Although hopefully she'll be all good for the weekend, feeling better for that, so we can do IF Extra and Zeitgeist, of course, because last time she was ill and I had to record an IF Extra on my own, it felt really weird and I didn't like it, so I had to get her to come and sit here for it, and just not say anything because it just felt odd doing it on my own. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, duct tape, all about the duct tape. I just think it looks really cool, this. And as I say, if I kind of show a bit of the in-game stuff again, things like the drones remaining, or in fact, I think I can trigger an interaction here myself. Like when these status effects disappear, I want them to be as if it's like a bit of tape getting ripped off. If you follow our YouTube channel, which I can't tell you an easy link to because we need 100 followers. It's not followers on YouTube, is it? Subscribers. Everyone has different terminology. Subscribers are the paid thing on Mixer, but yeah, subscribers are your followers on YouTube, aren't they? Yeah. We need 100 subscribers before we can have a custom URL for some reason. So our YouTube channel is youtube.com/blah blah 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 blah, and I don't know what it is. But if you go to roguedronesgame.com, you can see the trailer on there. So I've actually managed to do a tape peel effect in our video editing stuff, which looks quite cool. So yeah, I want to do that in game. So things like when the status effects disappear, they're hopefully going to look like they're being torn off, or when the drones remaining count goes down, maybe that can get torn off. I'm kind of thinking about maybe we need kind of in the same way that these things appear, these warning symbols appear in the center of your screen. Maybe we should have something as like a special shout out for something interesting happening. Like, this is going to be difficult now because there's a crosswind on. Just wait for that to run out, might be easiest. After all this, I'm not going to be able to do it anyway because I'll just mess it up. But like if I bash into this, right, third time. Here we go. I should do it from behind because then I'm kind of maybe a bit easier. No, I just can't do it. Anyway, the idea is you can melee drones. You could melee drones if you can play the game, says the man who made the game and can't actually manage to do it. I just can't get my eye in here. Come on, here we go. There we go. I like the idea of there being sort of like a melee sort of call out there. Maybe that being a bit of tape, like, what's the phrase we use? Having one of those moments. Like when you bash your computer. What do they call it? Kinetic therapy or something? I don't know. Impact or something like. But basically, have some sort of call out saying, I don't know, manual takedown melee, basically, or something, up close and personal, or whatever, and then that kind of gets peeled off. Don't worry about it, Anthony. That's all good. I think occasionally we get sort of weird mix-up blips sometimes, as you've seen on the quiz. This is the joys of all this cutting edge stuff like real time streams and interactive and things. Sometimes it's a bit more kind of connection quality dependent than other things. Yeah, sometimes if you have like a tiny blip on your connection, you get disconnected. But oh my word, actually, I've already been talking for nearly 45 minutes. I should think about wrapping this up soon, I suppose. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at with this, really. I'm pretty pleased with it. One of the problems that I am finding at the moment, though, is balancing out my desire to do more mix play stuff, because that's, mix play stuff is awesome, and we do these weekly streams on here, and Bob was designing our art on stream, so we're quite stream oriented. But we're not really going to be able to show that off too well at the show. I mean, we can trigger some demo interactions. Like I've got a trigger on my controller here, so I can make it look like Bunnery press the crosswind button. So we can fire off some of these as a sample, but it loses something when it's not your actual audience. So I feel like I probably shouldn't be focusing on doing stuff like that for the show. I should maybe be adding in actual other gameplay features. But mixed play stuff is fun. So yeah, over the next coming week, I'm thinking maybe I might have a look at adding in multiple drones, because I got a particularly interesting idea about how that could work, and I'd sort of like to see how it goes. So I'm in half a mind. Do I do multiple drones, and or a challenge system? That could be quite fun. And if we're showing this off at a show, I mean, obviously someone can come here and do the main idea of the game. Go shoot the drones down, see if they can beat the best time of the day, etc. But it might make a bit more interesting. Get them to try out a few more different things if we have some challenges in there. I mean, the one I keep saying is things like fly at over 50 meters per second under 10 meters for 5 seconds or something. So you need to like sort of skim the ground a bit like that, and then kind of have like a little checklist that you can cross off. That could be quite cool. So yeah, might do that this week. Or alternatively, I'm wondering about whether to maybe look at doing a different mode, perhaps. Maybe start looking at the evasion mode. So instead of me chasing down these drones, they're all trying to find me. I mean, that could be quite fun. If we could get that in for the show, there'd be maybe a few different things for people to try. But yeah, this thing with multiple drones, multiple types of drone. I've got some cool ideas for that. Or rather, I've got some entertaining references that I want to do. So it's kind of tempting to do that. We'll have to see. So that's what's likely to be around next week. Challenges, achievements, fun. Not sure it's going to be much so EGX. Yeah, I mean, what I'm thinking of is just kind of giving people prompts to try doing something different. Things like, as I say, if people kind of are playing this like, oh, okay, right, I'll shut down all the drones. Okay, that's the end of it. Right, I'm going to go on, look at something else. I wonder if we had sort of like a little checklist up, and there was, do this or fly through, fly through a shed or whatever the technical term is. I don't know if that's a hangar. It's a bit small. Well, I suppose maybe it is a small hangar. Maybe I've got the scale wrong. Maybe it is actually meant to be a hangar. Fly through a hangar at like 50 meters a second. Fly through a truck because someone forgot to put a collider on it. Yes, let's just go complete that one now. Oh, I've sort of bashed my drone about a bit. Yeah, there we go. I flew through a set of stairs. Or, I don't know, maybe fly under... Can't quite get my eye in with this today for some reason. Fly under I can't think what those are called. Walkway kind of... There's a word. Boarding thing. fly under a boarding thing, that kind of stuff. And it might encourage them to go, all right, I'll just stay on this until I've just crossed off these few things. And it might get them to try different stuff, like melee a drone, shoot down 3 drones, exactly that kind of thing. Shoot down 3 drones while, during radio interference, exactly. So while you've got your controls flipped, get multiple downs there, break the satellite. Go and bash into something. I don't know, land on top of the control tower or crash into the radar or something like that. We could do kind of things like that. So I wonder if that would sort of make people kind of stick around and try things that they wouldn't normally have thought of. I'll admit that this is based on land on a moving vehicle. Yeah, this is true. I almost started on moving vehicles today, and then I thought, well, I won't get it done in time, so I won't bother. I'm thinking about maybe trying to get these buses sort of just kind of driving around, or this baggage truck going up and down or something. That might be quite fun. Just give a bit of movement, make things look sort of a little bit more visually interesting. This challenge idea, I will admit, is based on Bunnery and I played Untitled Goose Game at EGX last year. If you haven't heard of Untitled Goose Game, it looks awesome. The elevator pitch is, it's a beautiful day in the village and you're a horrible goose, and basically you go around being an ass, except you're a goose, obviously. And yeah, basically you have to, it gives you a checklist of things to do. Like, you have to, you're in like a vegetable garden. You have to go and steal the gardener's keys and put his hat in the lake and stuff like this. And as you do them, they get crossed off. So it sort of encourages you to kind of explore the game and try different things. So I was wondering if that could work for us. But yeah, as I said, really tempted to do the multiple drones as well, because I got a couple of. I'll be honest with you, I got a couple of stupid puns in my head, so I want to get these puns out into the world. So yeah, kind of tempted to do that. I've got ideas for maybe 3 different types of drones. I mean, ultimately the same thing, just with mildly different attributes. So maybe like one has more health or recovers health faster, that kind of thing. So we'll have to see what I actually get done, because obviously I'm really disciplined and this is all planned out and organised into sprints and things like that. So yes, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I don't get up each day and then pick a thing off the list to do. A drone with only 2 working rotors. Well, actually, one of the mixed play things I was thinking of is something to mess with the rotors. But then, to be honest, I think if we mess with the rotors, maybe the drone crashes, actually, or would kind of flip too much. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should look into that anyway. What else we got? Still another play stun gun. Yeah, I mean, there could be, if we have multiplayer, something like if you bash a player, maybe you steal their charge or something. That could be quite cool. Interesting. So yeah, maybe we should have a think about that. Yeah, I feel like I should get these sparks on enemy drones when they're damaged, because obviously that's what's happening to me. Is I'm under 50% health, so I've got sparks going on here. I should make the sparks look better as well, really. That's on my make things look nice list, which is happening at the end. So yeah, one of those things will probably occur before next week's stream. If you would like to join me then, that'll be after Interference and Chill, which happens over on mixer.com/interference. Just, you see, Ferret got me to set up a bot, and then I forget to use it, so I need to keep telling him. I need to make a little stream deck to put under my controller so I can fire these automatically. But Ferret does a playthrough of our other game, Interference, every week, Wednesday, 6:30 PM UK time. Remember, if you're in the US, daylight savings time is weird until the end of the month. Well, it's not weird for you, it's weird comparing it to us, because we don't start daylight savings time until the last Sunday in March. It's weird for us. Yeah, daylight savings time is weird for everyone, frankly. Maybe we should just stop. Although I've heard that if we stop, we're going to stop on summertime. So we'll permanently be on BST instead of GMT, and that just feels wrong. You know, 'cause GMT is like literally where they invented time. I think that's how GMT works. I went on a tour of the time factory at Greenwich with Bunnery once, so you know, I'm pretty sure it's a time factory. I mean, why else would they have made it on that line? London tourism jokes. So yeah, 6:30 p.m. UK time. Search for what time is it in the UK, and then make your adjustments based off that. So she does about 90 minutes or so of drawing. So she finishes up about 8 o'clock and then passes over to me. So we'll be sharing off more Rogue drones then. And I mean, it will start looking like the final version, I guess, really, because next week will be what, the 20th. Then we'll have the 27th, and then the following week we won't be doing it because we'll be in London by that point. I wonder if I could take some streaming kit and get Ferret to do Interference and Chill live from London. I think that's a bit much to ask. And I'll be doing frantic bug fixes. Yeah, maybe there won't be any streams on the 3rd. Oxford local time is nightmare for train operators. Yeah, I mean, time. Just going off on a massive tangent. The business with time zones and actually establishing them was really, really interesting. Like, it wasn't a problem when you couldn't easily get between places, but as soon as we started getting trains and things, you could kind of like get to another place quite quickly, and then their times wouldn't necessarily be in sync with where you'd come from, and you just what? So there was the idea of actually syncing up times everywhere. Something like that, anyway. It was a long time ago when we did this this tour of the observatory and learnt all this stuff. Yeah, internet made it worse since things happen instantly. Now, I've been saying, because now that we're into streaming, I kind of hang out in like other people's streams and chat and stuff. And I found it really interesting because obviously I cared about daylight savings time and time zones and things before, but I didn't really give it that much thought. This business with the US and the UK having different DST start and end, never really gave it much thought. I mean, occasionally I'd talk to one of my friends who emigrated, got some people who live West Coast and East Coast in the US that moved over there a few years ago, and sometimes we chat on Skype or whatever. And there's like this period of a few weeks during the year where sometimes it's like, oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, you're on daylight savings time and we're not. I'm an hour early or late or whatever. And then aside from that, I'd never think about it. But now this quiz we do on Sundays, I should be all like pling quiz. Just again, in case anyone can't spell quiz, sorry. We do this live interactive quiz on Sunday, and suddenly it's actually really important that everyone's talking about the same time. So I have to think about it all the time now. It's very, very weird. It's something that wasn't really relevant to me, suddenly is. It's interesting. Hanson saying, worst part, not every state in the US has the same DST standards either. Yeah, I forget which state it was, because I was looking this up the other day. One of them's just given up and was just like, yeah, Arizona, that was it. Just like, I'm not doing that anymore. It's like, yeah, okay, fair play. But then apparently businesses have to now say things like, yeah, remember daylight savings time or not if you're in Arizona, because Arizona's on like a different time. Yeah, I mean the same thing that we're having now with the UK US difference. It's it's strange and confusing. But I think we were saying it during the quiz, really, maybe during the pre-quiz chat, that it's a hangover from a time when it was relevant, and it kind of isn't really now. Maybe it's time to stop it. Lol. But I can't even remember how I got onto that. Oh yes, I was saying we do these weekly streams. So these are 8 p.m. UK time. Just look up what time it is in the UK and base it off that. So yeah, perhaps I should. That was weird. I'm sure that button didn't work earlier. How odd. Meh. So let me press that as well. There we go. So yeah, I'll be doing some more updates on this week, and then we will be doing another stream this time next week. You can see all kinds of new things. As I say, we got maybe 20th. Sorry, phone just ringing there. We've got 20th, 27th. And then there won't be one the following week because we'll actually be in London panicking about the show. So, yeah, next week and the week after, you'll be seeing pretty much the final show version, I think. It should be interesting. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. If you have found this interesting, then if you go and check out did the wrong thing there. That's meant to have an S on the end. If you go check out roguedronesgame.com or twitter.com/roguedrones, you can get the latest buzz. And of course, if you are in the UK or you're really keen, we might see you at Rezzed, which is the 4th to the 6th of April, and we will be showing off the game in the Tentacle Zone, which is basically what it sounds like. Just look for the giant inflatable tentacles, and we'd love to see you there. And of course, last one, if you are at Rezzed on the Friday, then we are giving a talk about interactive streaming, so you would be very welcome there. Oh, okay, yeah, that's tentacles. It's an octopus, I think, maybe. Yeah, I keep forgetting that I post the VODs of these streams up on YouTube, and then people don't see the chat, so it probably just seems like I'm going, oh yeah, there are some tentacles. Hey Anthony just posted an octopus emoji into the chat, just to clarify. So yeah, if you're interested in interactive streams, then if you come to the Fringe Theatre, 12 noon on the Friday, then we will be there talking about Rogue Drones. Bunnery will be talking about Zeitgeist, our live interactive quiz, and Ferret will be talking about Interference and Chill, which is her interactive drawing stream. But yeah, that is about it for tonight. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, and we'll be back next week to show you hopefully some more new and exciting things. So we'll have to see what happens in the next 7 days. Have a great evening or day if you're behind us on the times. Thank you very much, Anthony. Yeah, enjoyed the updates. Awesome. So yeah, we will catch you next week. Have a great evening. Bye.